So just about a week ago, I decided I wanted to participate in the 30-day listing challenge. What is that, you say? That is where you list 15 items a day for 30 days straight. It is a bitch. So anyways, I'm gonna show you how I do it, and I'm gonna show you how I do it with a virtual assistant. Okay, so here's what the 30-day listing challenge looks like. Look at all this. So this is the sheet that I keep track of everything on. I believe this sheet originally was generated by Hustle and Flow. I couldn't find it anywhere, so I just had my assistant make up a duplicate. I believe it was a free download, so I just made it for my own personal use. This is what I'm keeping track on. Okay, so before you can even get started for the day, you have to have 15 items. So I'm gonna go thrifting right now, see if I can at least get a couple. I've got a few at the warehouse. One caveat before I go in the thrift store, it ain't 50% off day, so I don't know how much I'm gonna be buying, but we'll find out. All right, so here's what I ended up picking up real quick. Moab Legion paper. This is metallic silver. There's supposed to be 25 sheets in here. There's less than 25 sheets. There's around 20, but they're all in brand new condition on the inside. They were asking $9.97. I went up to the counter and I asked them if they would reduce the price because there's less sheets, and they said yes, and so they gave me 50% off. So they gave me right around $5 for this. Now, this goes on eBay for anywhere from like $27, $28 to around $83, and I don't know what the price difference is on that and why it is, but I'm obviously going to put it somewhere in the middle and put best offer, especially since I've got less sheets. So that's one thing about paper products is sometimes they don't make a paper product anymore and people loved it because they used it for something. This is an archival paper. It's a photographic digital paper, so it's very specific, and if you've ever dealt with photographers, they're really picky about their color and their prints and all that sort of stuff. So once they find something they like, they really use it over and over again. So I didn't find anything else in the thrift store, but I also have a Starbucks cold brew with sweet cream on order that's been sitting waiting for me. Good thing it's a cold drink, so I'm gonna go pick that up. I ordered it right before I went to the thrift store. I thought I'd pop in, maybe find a few things, but luckily I've got enough things back at the warehouse that I've either thrifted or picked up before that I can go ahead and complete my listings today. So we'll go ahead and head back to the warehouse and add this into the pile. Okay, so I'm back at the warehouse. The best way to pull this off and to do it quickly is to actually get organized beforehand. So here's what I recommend. The first thing you want to do is decide, are you doing clothing today, which are soft goods, or are you doing hard goods, which is electronics, stuff like that? So pick one or the other. You can switch the next day, but for today only, pick which one you're gonna do, because the different types of goods require different setups as far as photography goes. And if you wanna get these done quick, you just need to make a choice beforehand. The next thing you wanna do is actually organize your stuff. Get it all in one pile and get it close to your photography booth. So get it all right there handy for you. Get a separate bucket next to the bucket that you have all your junk in so that when you take the photo, you can throw that stuff into the empty bucket, and then you'll decide where to put it later. This isn't the final resting place, this is just limbo for your crap. Okay, so once you have everything all organized and close to your photo station, you've picked hard goods or you've picked soft goods for the day, you've got it all in a bucket, it's next to your photo station, take a look at it and start prepping everything. So if it needs something done, like a tag taken off, if it needs some ink removed off of it, go ahead and start working on all that stuff. Because when you get to the photo portion of this, all you want to be doing is taking photos. You don't want to have to go back and clean stuff, so get that all done in advance. So from here on out, here's what you'll be doing. Just taking photos, uploading photos, and making a few notes, and that's it. You're not actually going to be listing the items yourself. That's the job for the virtual assistant. So let me show you kind of the workflow and how that goes. Okay, so before we get started, let me explain how the workflow is going to go beginning to end so you have some sort of idea where we're headed with all this. We've gotten our 15 items. We've decided whether we're gonna do clothing or we're gonna do hard goods today. So we've picked that, we've sorted them, we've cleaned them or removed tags or anything like that that we might need. So we've done all the prep work, essentially. Next step, taking the photos. So we're gonna go ahead and take the photos. We're gonna do them real quick. So then we're gonna throw the items that we just photographed into an empty bin next to the bin that we just pulled the other things out. It's just a temporary spot for them. It's not the actual home yet. Then what we're going to do is we're going to upload the photos that we just took to the cloud from our phone. And while we are uploading the photos, we're going to open up a Google Doc and start making notes in there. And then my virtual assistant, Geraldine, she has access to that Google Doc, and she also has access to the cloud as well to get a hold of the photos. So once we're all done with all that and we photographed everything, we will assign it a home, like a bin number, and then we will message our assistant and we will tell her, good to go, you can get started on everything. So that's how we're gonna tackle this, just so you know how it's gonna go from beginning to end. So let's show you the photography step. Okay, so here we are at the photo booth and we're ready to take some photos. So first thing I want to do is open up my camera on my phone. Now I do all this with my phone. I don't do it with a tripod or a regular camera or anything like that. So I feel like the phone is good enough quality for eBay, Poshmark, that sort of thing. So you'll notice that the photo right now is in rectangle mode. I actually switch that and I switch it over to 1:1. Now that's a square photo. And the reason I do that is because eBay, Poshmark, all those good people like square photos. There's no cropping, no nothing like that. My assistant doesn't have to crop it. It's good to go. Now I've already communicated with my assistant, so she knows that the first photo I take, I want to use as the profile photo. So she already knows that, so I just need to set up the first item just like I want it to appear on eBay when a customer sees it for the first time. All right, so let's set this up. Okay, so now I'm gonna take the photo and you'll see I'm filling the frame. So I'm essentially taking up as much room as possible. Do that. Now this is gonna be a little bit hard doing this with one hand, but I'm gonna try and set these on their side so that way I can take a picture of the bottom. Good to go there. All right, get the stand out of the way. That photo, get a side view, get the back. Customers tend to like to see the inside too, so I kind of shoot that best I can. And then I take a picture of any sort of marks or any sort of weirdness that I want the customer to know about. Some stuff on the toe, some scratches, that sort of thing. Other than that, it looks like a pretty good pair of shoes. After that, what I would do is I would head over to the bucket and I would just essentially toss that in the bucket. And then later on, we're going to find a home for it. Then it's literally on to the next pair of shoes. But while I'm getting these set up, I'm going to upload the photos that I just took. So if you want to take a quick glance at what those look like, here's what they look like under this lighting. They look pretty good. So that's what they look like. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up my cloud. My cloud is where I can store photos at. So my assistant has access to this cloud. So I will show you where that's at. Now this is literally a portable hard drive that's just sitting in my living room. You can get these at Costco. They're really easy to set up, or you can use something like Dropbox or something like that. So here I am, I'm in my assistant's inbox on the cloud, and I'm just gonna make a new folder. I'm gonna make this number 6. I'm gonna call it the 30-day listing challenge. Okay, because I'm on day 6. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one quick subfolder, and I'm just going to do number 1 because it's the first item I'm taking of the day. I'm going to do that. And then I upload the photos. So here we go. Okay, let me just select all these photos. And I usually take between 6 and 12 photos typically. I don't take really any more than that. I think eBay maxes out at 12, so you're good to go there. Then I upload them. So now they're actually uploaded in the background. So now this is where I would make my notes to my assistant. So while they're uploading, I open up a Google Doc that I've kept running. Looks like I'm on item number 6 for day 6. So that was my fault. So let me go back real quick and let me adjust the title here of that folder. So that way she knows I'm working on item 6. There it is. Okay, sorry about that. Back to the Google Doc. Okay, so now we know that she wants to look at folder number 6, And this is where I would list the item details. It is a Johnston Murphy shoe. It's men's, it's leather, it's brown. It is size 9. So that's about all the detail I put in there. I don't typically put in much more than that. And then this section here, this details column, this column is if I have any more sort of information. This would be the location, which we haven't given it a home yet. It would be, are these new or pre-owned? These happen to be pre-owned. And then I just make specific mentions of some stuff that I want her to make note of on the listing. And then I mention any sort of shipping I want her to do. I want her to do USPS and priority mail, and I want her to do calculated based on the weight and the size. And then what I would do is just measure and weigh it real quick. So 13 ounces and 12 by 5 by 5. And that's it. That's all the info that I give her. And I save it, and that's it. And then I move down the row and I do all 15. And then when I'm done, I literally drop her a message and she goes ahead and creates the listing in InkFrog. I will show you where she creates the listings. She is much better at listing stuff than I am. Alrighty then, let me show you InkFrog. Okay, so here we are at InkFrog's website. Here's what InkFrog is. InkFrog lets you allow an outside person like a virtual assistant to have access to your account without giving them full access. So essentially you can give them limited access. They can only see the things that you want them to see and do the things that you want them to do, and they don't have control over the full thing. It's really handy in dealing with virtual assistants and all that sort of thing, and kind of building up the trust and eventually releasing more and more access to your account the more sort of duties they take on. Now, eBay does have a multi-user feature, which is lame as hell, and it only lets people in the US access other people's accounts based in the US. Totally dumb. Most people's virtual assistants are based overseas. I do understand that people have listers that are based in the United States. I get that. But a lot of virtual assistants, they ain't here. So I don't know why eBay did that. So I will continue to use InkFrog until the day I die. But no, InkFrog will let you also do Shopify. It may let you even do some Amazon as well. It will let you cross-post some stuff, all kinds of good stuff. I primarily only use it for listing primarily and adjusting like good till canceled listings. So I'm going to show you what the listing portion of InkFrog looks like. So here we are inside InkFrog. This is what my virtual assistant sees, and she can then basically go in. Okay, so the first thing she does is she goes into the upper right-hand side and she clicks on one of the templates that we already have made. The templates are basically like some presets. We've already made some selections on some basic stuff, like especially shoes and that sort of thing that you're gonna do over and over again. You can set up your shipping, your description, all that sort of stuff, so that way there's some consistency in your listings and she doesn't have to type everything from scratch. So the first thing she does is she goes into the master profile and she does either a shoe profile, maps, guides, or a master profile. The general master profile is something that I made that's just for general products. The shoes obviously for shoes, maps and guides for maps. I basically make profiles for what I tend to be doing a lot of. If it doesn't fit into any of these categories, then she just adds all the information herself. But let's go ahead and do the shoe one. Okay, so the shoe one will add some stuff to the description. Down below, it adjusts some of the shipping and all kinds of good stuff. So then what she does is she downloads all the photos that need to be downloaded from the cloud, and she also takes a look at the Google Doc. She goes ahead and uploads the photos. She uploads them right here. And then she goes to the Google Doc, looks at all the pertinent information and fills that in. And then she goes ahead and she lists it. That's it. I don't do any of the listing at all. She does all of the research on eBay and all of the writing and all of the listing. She's been doing this for a while for me, and we had to kind of build up to it. But luckily, I've got a virtual assistant who is used to doing research and that sort of thing. So if you think about it, we're all doing research, right? So the most important function that we do is our experience and sourcing items. So from that point on, anybody else can do the rest of it. They can research the comps, they can do all that sort of stuff. It's the same stuff that we do. We go through eBay, we look at the solds, we copy people's descriptions, all that sort of good stuff. So that's what she does. She goes into WorthPoint. She's got access to my WorthPoint account, and she does the whole listing. She's really good at it. She's much better than I am. She's not lightning fast, but it's okay because the type of virtual assistant she is literally like more of an office manager type. I wanted a virtual assistant that thinks, that catches my errors, all that sort of thing. You can get virtual assistants that are basically task-based that just cruise through these listings. You can do that. Geraldine isn't like that for me. So all of those 15 listings that I put in the Google Doc and in the cloud, Geraldine will have those done by morning. The hours are different than the United States. They're opposite almost. And so while you're sleeping, she's working. So this is how I get the most listings done. And this is how I complete the 30-day listing challenge of 15 items a day. I take the photos during the day, I upload them, I write a quick description. She logs in at night, about 11 o'clock at night or so, and then she starts cranking them out. And that's how I do it. So working smarter, not harder, I guess, right? So anyway, so I hope this helped you guys and it kind of showed you kind of my workflow and whatnot. If you have any questions, let me know. All right, I've got a little bit of a cold I'm fighting through, so sorry if I sound a little funky, but yeah, I'm gonna get a little rest. So, all right, thank you guys. Bye-bye.